Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back to some more to End All Wars. It's been a while, and we definitely want to get moving. So now that the Turks are with us, we have a little bit more breathing room. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Alexander von Kluck's army, and I'm actually going to charge north, hoping to hit that unit of the British Expeditionary Force. I'm also going to be taking this unit here and trying to move him over here as quickly as possible to Antwerp. I just want to get to the point where we can take Antwerp. We've been besieging it for so long, and we can't seem to get there. So it's only a 2-day train ride. As for this unit right here, I'm going to let him recuperate, and pretty much the same for everybody else on our actual line. I mean, we've taken already some areas. At this point, I think it's important just to rest and recuperate, let these men regain a little bit of their power, etc., and then worry about maybe attacking. Although I'm trying to look for some weak spots. We're still going to be attacking this area, and that's okay. I think that general can pretty much handle himself, although, let's see, are we besieging? And I wonder if we even declared war on Luxembourg. We don't seem to be besieging it. For now, I'm going to send these troops here to try to help these guys. Let's also take a look at our Russian front, and this is the front we've obviously been trying to really improve, because the Russians are pretty much breaking through. We have managed to do a really good job with von Hindenburg, but of course we have a lot more work to do before we can call this a safe situation. So let's go ahead. We're going to send both of these generals. This one I'm going to leave here, of course. And of course these Austrian generals are really our saving grace. These are the only guys that can actually defend us in this situation. I think we're going to go ahead and try to get to this town as soon as possible. And we also have quite a large army right here. It's not bad. It's also led by a 3-star general. So if we can possibly get this unit here quickly, let's see if we've got any trains. 22 days, that's better than nothing. Then maybe we can actually put a fight up to the Russians, of course. Right now, for the most part, just want to hold them back. I am going to send this unit, though, to attack. And with this unit, I'm going to see if I can build a depot. And I think I can, and we're just going to try to stay put here. Hopefully we don't get attacked by the Russians, but we should also take a look at the diplomatic side of things. I think we've been doing things pretty well so far, but who knows what's possible here. Let's take a look here. So it's incredible how close the Americans are to the Central Powers. They seem to really like us. What I am going to play is the Max Hoffman. I believe this is going to make it a lot harder for the enemy to break through our lines, the Russian enemy specifically. But I'm worried because I think I can only play it in German territory, not in Austro-Hungarian territory. So let's take a look here. Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth it. All right, we'll use it right here. We'll just see what happens. Okay, now let's take a look at our Turkish front, guys. I'm hoping it's going to help us with our battles in this area, of course. Now, let's... Actually, before we look at the Turkish front, I want to see if there's anything else I can do here. No, I think we're good. Let's go to Turkey. Quite a lot of units here. A lot of them are still heading south towards Palestine, Israel-Palestine, because at this point, that's going to be our best chance at securing any sort of victory, is to try to get to Israel-Palestine as soon as possible and beat the British there. For now, we're going to be, of course, trying to move on the Russians, but this is actually not a very easy front to navigate. There's a lot of movement that needs to happen before we actually get to battle, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. I really do want to get the Bulgarians on our side. I'm almost tempted to attack them if they don't join us quickly. So in fact, let's take a look and see what the Bulgarian opinion of us is. So 63% Central Powers. I don't consider that nearly good enough. I don't know, guys. We might need to declare war on Bulgaria for all we know. Let's end the turn, and let's hope for the best. Alright, guys, our first battle here is a German victory, of course. Looking pretty good. Sorry, I'm got to get these two windows out of the way. And what I'm trying to do is actually avoid that annoying in-between turn phase. So we'll take a look at that battle afterwards. And we've actually got a victory in Africa, guys. So the Battle of Mombasa in Kenya, we managed to kill 9,000 of the enemy troops, and we only lost 1,640. Maybe we'll be taking Kenya here from the French. If that happens, that's going to be amazing. Unfortunately, in South Africa, we're not so lucky. But let's hope that this luck carries on to the next few days, because we desperately need it. But those are some pretty decent victories there, guys. We can't forget that. Of course, right now, World War I is in full swing, and it is approaching Christmas time here, but it's going to be a bloody, bloody Christmas. And there we go, von Hindenburg with another win. 4,151 in Hindenburg, still 75,000 men in that army that he's actually dealing with very, very well. He's our only hope in Russia right now. I hate to say that, but he's the only one really putting up a sufficient fight. The Austro-Hungarians are not helping very much, so I hope that we can get some better leaders on that front. All right, Battle of Windhoek. It's a stalemate. So this is once again another one of our African areas, but the hilarious thing is these are the Anzac, the Australian divisions. They were responsible for the attack. They lost 5,740 men. We only lost 410. Gotta love those machine guns and the field artillery over ISIS. So we actually are winning the fight in Africa as well, and if we can win the fight here on the home front, then obviously we're going to be in a really good position. And I think just taking Belgium, I really want to take that capital. Then we're going to be able to, I think we've taken Antwerp, we have to take Brussels, or vice versa. Once we take that, I'm going to feel a lot stronger. So I'm hoping we can get them to surrender here pretty soon. Oh, here we go, a nasty battle against the Russians. An Austrian defeat and a lot of losses on each side, but we definitely lost more, and they have an army of 250,000, 250,000 men, just in that one group. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Let's hope we can reach that area north of Ghent and finish off the British Expeditionary Force. They are becoming a serious threat, especially to our positions in Belgium and our positions in Western France, of course. Come on, Japanese, stop fighting us, please. We can't deal with Japanese attacks as well. It's just too much. Alright, the Western Front is fairly quiet, and I'm sure it's getting pretty damn cold here. Come on, men, storm the city. And unfortunately over there, they changed their posture at the capital back to defensive. I mean, at this point, I'm imagining that the actual civilians in that capital are starving. They're in terrible shape because, you know, they've been cut off for so long. We've got to storm through. We're actually doing them a favor by taking the city, I think. At least some food will get through, or maybe not. The German and Belgians, especially during this war, did not have a very kind relationship towards one another. So we'll have to see. I don't think the Turkish are going to be able to really move up at all. But it would be nice to see them move into Russian territory a little bit. Excuse me, Lord. Yeah, I must say, these in-between turn phases really take a long time. Just to get from the last turn to this turn took like 3 minutes, so I have to be careful. Now, here we go. We did manage to attack the British Expeditionary Force, but they got some reinforcements. We killed 22,500 of them. They killed well, 18,962 of our men. It was a nasty fight, and now I'm actually worried about the fate of our general. It looks like he managed to pull back, but now they have a lot of different troops here in Belgium. Not just British Expeditionary Force, but also French troops. So we may need to really consolidate this victory quickly. We've got to win here and try and move the enemy out. At this point, the only other thing I can think of is maybe bring some reinforcements from our French front into Belgium, because the British have landed and they are not happy. So it's going to be an interesting fight. For the Kaiser. Or sorry, is it for the König right now? I think it is for the König. No, it's got to be Kaiser. When did the König and the Kaiser begin? There's a question. Alright, so this is just a bunch of movements, very mild movements. We're obviously trying to get some support for these units, a few more men, some more supplies, etc. Giving them some rest, especially during Christmas time. Good time to write home to their families, etc. Of course, this hasn't been a bloodless turn by any means, but it does seem to have slightly slowed down. That could be because of the weather, and we're going to just have to see what the Russians are going to do next. I'm not as worried about the French. I'm worried about the British, but eventually we might start doing some winter offensives here to try and take Verdun, to try and take Tours, to try and take Chalon, Aisne, Montmedy, all those areas, and Sedan especially. If we can take that area, we're going to take a huge chunk out of the country in the Champagne region. We've already taken quite a lot, so I would say at least 50-60 kilometers, you know, from the beginning of our border to theirs. Might not sound like a lot, but in World War I terms, I think that's pretty damn good. Of course, like all of these episodes, we will absolutely make sure to check out the casualties list here, because I'm curious myself to see what things are up to. Are we up to the million mark yet? I think, what was it, 10 million soldiers died in World War I? Maybe somebody can correct that for me. So let's see how close we are to that. And it's only the, well, it's going to be late December of 1914, but we're fighting in early December of 1914. Let's see what it looks like here, guys. We may be creating a bloodier World War I than that ever existed. So we'll have to see. Alright, a few more moves here. Let's hope it's our army's restructuring. We really didn't do much on the Serbian front. It's a tough front. We've got a general in there, and we've taken some land, but I'm really not trying to focus too much on it. Of course, we're going to have to. And there we go, new turn ready. Let's take a look at these casualties. Let's see what's going on. So, we've lost 770,000 men. The enemy has lost 1,900 Russian prisoners, 10,400 Eastern Entente prisoners, British and French. The Western Entente. The Western Entente have lost 580,000 men, British and French and Belgians, and the Eastern Entente 350,000. So yes, we've killed more of the enemy overall, but I think the Western Entente is getting off a little bit easy, guys. So maybe in this next part of this series, we're going to have to do a nice little offensive. I think that we may need to do that. Try and bring those numbers up a little bit and show the enemy we mean business. But let me know what you guys think. We always like to hear your feedback and your opinions. And please hit that like button. If you're new to this series, hit the playlist. And don't forget to share the channel as much as possible and subscribe if you're able. Thank you again, guys. Take care and have an awesome, awesome day.